What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. I'm your host, your bastard of ceremonies, Reckless Rexx Ruger. That, of course, is the Freddie Mercury puppet, if you couldn't tell by the teeth. We're back with another amazing episode of Pod Scum. We got another great guest. He's here now. We're going to dispense of the formalities, get down to it, and chop it the fuck up. There, I said it. It's happening. Tim, how are you?
Hi, Mark.
Do I got you?
Yeah.
Communication is good. We see each other. We hear each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm glad you got to do this, man. It's an honor getting a chance to meet you, man. I've been really digging on your band for a fucking while now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, good to meet you.
I've said to myself, and of course, I don't know how you'll take this, or if you're a fan of comparisons or whatever, but I've often said over the years, where will any new bands come that will excite me and give me the vibe of a Motorhead, which you guys very much do, and I mean that in the sincerest of ways.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Now, I would be remiss to say that there obviously, goes without saying that there is some Motorhead influence there, correct?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Who's the Motorhead fan? All the guys in the band?
We all like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I usually start these things out with asking, like, for you, was there a specific album or a song or maybe an artist that really jump-started the musical journey for you?
Probably Slayer, or my dad. My dad got me into Slayer quite early, and that kind of got me into it, really.
Wow, that's good parenting right there. A dad that's getting you into Slayer early.
Yeah. He used to, my mum used to work nights, so he used to get me out of bed and we'd watch Elvira. Elvira had a program on in what was this? Like early 90s, maybe late 80s, perhaps. Yeah. So I was really young, and he would get me out of bed to watch that when my mum went out.
Yeah, and I think Slayer's a lot of people's gateway drug, gateway band in terms of extreme music. Yeah,
it's because I don't know, it was like properly scary back then.
Oh yeah,
it's been frightening. And that's sort of intriguing.
I've often had that conversation with people on here, man, that like technology to a certain extent has ruined a lot of the mystique. Because I remember like listening to really heavy, fast, loud bands when I was young and always looking to find the next most brutal thing. And you would only have pictures in a magazine, and they would always be terrifying looking pictures. And you couldn't just go on and Google everything you wanted to know about them. You know what I mean? So there was an air of mystique, and you just have these pictures in a magazine and this terrifying music, this terrifying thrash or death metal or whatever. And I think the mystery added to it.
Yeah, I think people could bands could control their image a lot better.
Yeah, it helped.
Yeah,
it kept the mystique in there. So for you guys, when you guys are getting together and you're creating music together as a band, Heavy Sentence, what's the creative process like? Is it very collaborative, or does somebody come in with the lion's share of the ideas?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of time, I'll bring riffs in, and then we'll jam on, or even an entire song idea, but then we'll jam on it, and then someone will do something else, and be like, "Oh, just bin that idea and do what do what we came up with together," because it'll often be better.
Yeah,
and then a lot of the best stuff, we'll just walk to the shop. Me and Gaz, one time I remember, we'll walk to the shop. Gaz is the singer, to get some beers, and then by the time we got back, we had the lion's share of a sort of song, chorus and stuff. And it's it happens in weird little moments like that.
Yeah. I hear from a lot of musicians that I have on here that they get a lot of sparks of creativity in the car. Oddly enough, just driving in the car and something clicks.
Yeah. It's rarely when you're trying.
Right. Yeah. So is that the kind of creative person that you are? Are you able to sit and sort of sequester yourself away and make yourself create, or is that not possible?
I'll just sit in front of the TV with a guitar and play.
Yeah.
And something might happen, some it might not.
And now what's the you guys just put out. First of all, what got me into you guys is Bang to Rights, and I've listened to that thing like crazy or whatever. But you just came out with kind of like like a mini EP. There were like 3 songs on it, right?
Yeah, we did. Warriors of Madness.
Yeah,
that was. Yeah, that was. Well, it's a while ago now. It's probably a few months, maybe.
Yeah.
Was it last year? Yeah, but we've recorded some new stuff, which we can't really get anyone to put it out because no one wants to do a 7-inch anymore. We really like doing 7 inches, but labels don't really like them because they don't make any money off it, which is understandable. So we'd like to put that out, but it's hard to find a label that's up for it.
So you guys are not currently on a label?
We are, yeah. We're on Dying Victims, the German label.
Okay.
Yeah. But they want an album out of us, which we are doing. But yeah, they don't want to just keep putting out 7 inches because it's not viable financially.
Well, it did seem like around COVID time, and obviously people couldn't get out and tour, so they had to get their creativity out somehow. But it did seem like you were starting to see a lot of singles and a lot of EPs and just an influx of new music coming out all the time. But for you guys as a band, you're talking about 7 inches. But you guys like a fully realized LP? I mean, is that the best release format that works for you guys?
Yeah, we really like doing an album. It just takes a while with the way the band works and stuff. So when we've got a couple of tunes together, we tend to want to just like go and put them down in the studio and get it out. But yeah, we're probably gonna sit on these tracks and add them to an album, I think, now because we've got a few more brewing. So yeah, shouldn't be too long.
And now, what's the goal for you guys, man? Like, in terms of like, where are you guys at the stage of your career? Like, you can't, and again, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, but when I looked on online, it says you guys have been a band since 2017.
Yeah.
And so, what's the big like goal, like, for a young band, in the industry, like right now, is it continually putting out good music? Is it kind of getting a break and getting to come here to the States and play? Is it getting on a good tour bill? Is it all the above?
Yeah, we'd love to come over there and play. That is a bit of a dream, yeah. But yeah, just to keep it going. Keep writing stuff that we like, keep getting good gigs. As long as that's happening, then we're happy with that.
Is there a person out there that you would say has been the most influence on you personally in your guitar playing?
Maybe like, so I don't know. I nicked some bits off like Fred Sonic Smith from the MC5.
Yeah,
like I like those little like rundowns he does. Oh yeah, I've nicked a few of those bits.
You like when you're it seems like in the rock and metal world, everything's got to be put into these neat little boxes and genres. Are there specific genres that people want to label your music? And if you've heard any of them, what do you consider Heavy Sentence to be in terms of a genre?
It's kind of I don't know. It's at its best when we kind of hit the sweet spot between like a traditional heavy metal, and punk. That seems to be what where we're best. So and people have said like we sound like an oi band, but I think that's probably just Gaz's vocal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, man, you're the first band that I mentioned when you got on here was Motorhead. I certainly hear a lot of Motorhead influence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, big time.
Yeah, that's kind of all over the music, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and it's yeah. I mean, it does sound like Motorhead, but I think it's Gaz's vocal gets compared to Lemmy a lot because of the graveliness of it.
Yeah.
And it gets compared to Macho Man Randy Savage quite a lot. For the same reason.
Yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. as a music fan, like when you're listening to music for your own enjoyment, are you somebody that like tends to fall back on your old staples, or are you able to find like new music out there like right now from a fan standpoint that gets you excited? Are there any new bands that have popped up on your radar? I know for a while, I mean, I'm 51 years old. I know for a while, man, like I was turning into that stodgy old fucker that was just listening to my olds. You know, if I'm puttering around the house or I'm cleaning or whatever, I'm listening to shit from the 80s and the 90s. It was hard for me to find like new music to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the new music that I hear, I mean, I don't hear a lot of new heavy metal happening certainly not in Britain at the minute. A lot of punk bands come through Sheffield, so that, you know, I listen to a few of those. And there's a place called the Lug Hole down the road, which is part run by our old drummer, which is like, it's like a DIY punk venue. So that's a good place to sort of catch new bands. But that's, yeah, mostly punk stuff, really.
Now, one thing you see in rock and metal a lot is you see a lot of personnel changes. Where are you guys like with this lineup? Does it seem to be a stable lineup? Everybody kind of rowing in the same direction?
Yeah. Everyone's down for it. So yeah, it's good. We had our old drummer Bry left at the start of the year, and now we've got a guy called George, who used to be in Bry's old band Rat Cage. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yep.
Yeah, so he used to be the guitarist in that. Now he's the drummer in our band. So it's kind of stayed in the family kind of thing.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think when I first reached out to get somebody from the band, I think I got Jack first, and he said, I think he deferred me to you, and he said, no, Tim would be the one to talk to.
Yeah.
Like you're the media relations guy.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah.
Not by design.
What about the business side of things, man? Like ordinarily, man, it helps when somebody in the band has a good mind for business and is able to deal with promoters or like, you know, all these types of business. The side of the who's the guy in the band that does that?
Probably me.
Yeah. You're wearing many hats over there, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, George does a bit, the new drummer, because he's involved in gigs in Leeds, so he'll book us some, and people know he's in the band now, so they'll get in touch with George. So yeah, share it a little bit, but yeah, I'm doing the admin mostly.
And are you involved in other projects, or is Heavy Sentence like your main focus? Because I did see online, man, that you were listed on a website, I think, as being in a couple other bands. I don't know if those are still current or not.
Yeah, I'm in a band called Aggressive Perfector.
Yep.
Which is similar, kind of bit thrashier, a bit heavier than Heavy Sentence, and then WODE, which is like a death metal, kind of black metal thing.
And you kind of divide your time between all three, or is one more the priority than any of the rest of them?
Well, they just take turns, really. So yeah, we just did a record with WODE, and then so everything else sort of took a bit of a backseat for that period, and then yeah, doing a bit of Aggressive Perfector. But I mean, at the minute, working towards a new record, but all the while there's gigs going on. Heavy Sentence is carrying on as well. So yeah, there's no real priority, to be honest.
And then who writes the in Heavy Sentence, because that's how you came on my radar. Who does most of the lyrical writing?
Gaz does it all.
He does all of it. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And so, do you guys have any like input or whatever, or when he writes something, is it pretty much you guys stick to what he puts on the paper?
I might have like a chorus in mind, that has to be a certain way.
Yeah,
and I'll bounce that off him, and he'll either do it or have a better idea. So
yeah.
You
got to be collaborative, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's a
that's how
marriage.
the best stuff comes out. Definitely, it's it can sometimes, if there's one guy doing everything, I think it can sometimes sound a bit labored. It's nice to get other people to throw it off into like a unexpected direction, and it's just feels more kind of alive when you're playing ideas like that.
Now, for the people who like guitar tone and for people that are gearheads, I like to ask this question. I'm not a musician. I'm not a gearhead. I barely know how to work this fucking computer and even get on here and do this podcast. But for people that might be interested, man, do you have a particular, like, can you give us a rundown of what you use primarily as far as like a guitar and like, for the people who get off on gear and stuff out there and might want to know how you get your tone?
I use a Music Man HD 130 amp, which I've been told is from 1964, so it's like a solid state preamp valve power amp, and it gives it this like really fuzzy sort of aggressive sound.
Oh yes.
With a pretty high output pickup, and I don't use any pedals for the most part. I use like a lead boost and that's it. I just use the natural gain on the amp. Yeah, that's it. I use a Flying V.
Yeah.
I recently got. I used to use this Epiphone Les Paul thing that I changed the pickups in, but that's good. I preferred that for it. I had that and a Gibson SG that got nipped after a gig in Sweden. And then I got the V, which is now a main thing because it is really nice.
And when you say the Gibson got nicked, for people that might not be familiar with British terminology or whatever, that means stolen?
Stolen. Yeah, it got stolen from our van. We played Muscle Rock, and then the van was left unattended very briefly, and it got stolen along with the bass, which turned up. The bass turned up, but my guitar's gone. So, yeah,
that's not cheap.
It's a shame.
Yeah,
nah, bit of a shame that.
I imagine a Gibson will set you back a little bit.
Yeah, well, I actually bought it off Gaz, the singer, so it's 600 quid, but like a bit of a bargain. But yeah.
Now, how long have you been playing guitar?
Oh god, since like I was 11, 12, so like 30 years.
And do you remember your first memory of what made you want to get a guitar? Like, was there an artist that you saw, or was there a song that you heard that really made you, that really pulled you towards the guitar out of all the instruments that are out there?
Well, my dad played.
Okay.
And he always had guitars lying around, so I was like, well, even before like I started playing properly, I could like work stuff out. Like, I remember the first riff I worked out was 20th Century Boy by Rexx.
Yeah,
it's not very hard, but yeah. What was I trying to work out?
Well, over here we always hear like over the States that the one that's that people seem to learn the most is "Smoke on the Water."
Yeah,
I think just because it's so fucking easy, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I learned that one, and it wasn't until like years and years later that I realized it wasn't in E, it's in G.
Well, let me ask you this. I got a couple subjective questions for you. Who would be your Mount Rushmore of all-time favorite musical artists if you could put up your big four? Not the big four that you think are the greatest album or greatest artists of all time, but for you, your greatest four.
My greatest four. I'd probably put. Is that you're asking now?
Yeah, now the questions get tough, Tim. Now the questions get tough.
I'd probably put like maybe probably put Slayer in there.
Yeah, you gotta put them probably because you did mention them at the top of the interview as a major influence. So yeah,
I'd probably put Nirvana in there.
Okay,
they had a big impact.
Sure.
I'd probably put Morbid Angel in there.
Okay, going heavy death metal.
And let's put Motorhead in there.
Oh, I love that list, man. Holy shit, man. That's a fucking Mount Rushmore if I ever saw one right there. Holy shit. Morbid Angel, you went there. Holy crap. That's about as heavy as death metal gets right there, man. Going fucking Morbid Angel. My God. You evil bastard, you.
Yeah. It's probably because I've just had them on, but yeah.
and what about if I took you and dropped you on a desert island, man, and you can only take one album with you? What would be your desert island album?
Oh man. What would I take? I'm just looking at my records.
Now remember, you are stuck out there, man. I guess essentially, man, as I've explained before, you're gonna have to live with this album. You're gonna have to listen to.
Let's take this one.
Riot. Okay. Wow. You went. Wow. I think you're the first person who's done this segment that's actually went and produced the fucking album and showed it. Now, why that album now?
Because it's just like back to front. It's amazing all the way through, and like every time I listen to it, you know, I enjoy it. I never get bored of this. So
yeah. And I guess if you're gonna be on a desert island, you would like to have an album that would make you ultimately happy.
You only got one.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck is the point of being out there, man, and picking an album if you're not going to find some enjoyment out of it, right? I mean, essentially, you're going to live on a desert island. You're going to listen to this thing every day, and then it's really going to be the soundtrack to your fucking death. So, I mean, you know, that's kind of depressing, but I mean,
and your life, yeah,
and your life, yeah. Now, are there any artists out there who you think? Well, I'll put it to you a different way. I recently started asking the question on here of doing a rock swap. So if we could take a dead musician, somebody that means a lot to you, and bring them back, and we can trade off one, man, what would the trade be? Who would we bring back, and who would we fucking serve up to God? By the way, this is an awful fucking question. I can't believe I've even fucking lowered myself to even ask this, but it's gone over pretty well so far. I had someone on here the other day, man, like just to give you an example, who said that we could give Harry Styles away in order to get back Dimebag, and I thought that was a good trade.
And then look what happened. They got the other one. Bringing back Dimebag is a good idea.
Yeah. I'm just giving you an example, of course. I mean, you know, you mentioned Nirvana. Maybe you'd want Kurt Cobain back. I don't know. You know.
Thing is, he's always been dead, really.
Yes. Yeah, he was dead when he was alive, I think.
he's been dead the whole time. So
he never really seemed like he was enjoying the ride. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him, but yeah, as long as I've been into him, he's been dead. We could bring back Lemmy, I suppose.
Oh, great pick. Yeah, let's bring back Lemmy. Yeah. Now, who's out there?
Things weren't as good after he went.
You're right.
They went downhill rapidly.
Now, who are we getting rid of? There's got to be at least one artist out there that really fucking irks you.
He's bad. I don't really want to condemn anyone to death, to be honest. Who?
I get the feeling I get the feeling you've got a couple artists that you wouldn't mind condemning to death, but you're being diplomatic. I had someone the other day fucking serve up Ed Sheeran, which kind of surprised me, man. But I forgot who we were getting back in trade, but it was somebody fucking pretty damn good, though, man. But poor Ed Sheeran had to go.
Yeah, Gaz actually quite respects Ed Sheeran.
Well, let's keep him then. Yeah, let's keep him.
Yeah, he was trying to tell me that he writes good choruses.
Yeah, he does.
I'm not sure he listens to him at home, but I hope not. But yeah, no, I don't. Let's. I don't want to condemn him. I can't think. Let's keep talking. If I think,
okay,
of someone, I'll let you know.
Let's keep talking and let the hate really build up in here, right? I mean, so what's the plan right now, man? Going forward, man. You put out Bang to Rights in 2021. You put the little mini EP out, man. So what's the plan on like new music, man? Like, will we probably see the full length album in 2025? Does that sound realistic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has to be really. Yeah, I mean that's what we're aiming for. Yeah, if we can record it, yeah. Let's say 2025. Let's set it. We'll set that deadline right now.
Yeah, and now do you get pressure from the label at all?
No, it's pretty relaxed, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like just give us the thing when you're done with it.
Yeah, when you're ready, we're here for you.
That's nice. That's nice. Boy, the music industry's changed a lot because it used to be like a lot of pressure, didn't there? To be, I mean, to get albums out.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's all very. There's no contracts involved with this,
Right?
You know, it's all kind of gentleman's agreements type thing. So, yeah, it's all very relaxed, and you know, there's no there's no pressure. And I think like the music would suffer if there was like deadlines, because I mean, no one's doing this for a job anymore. So
right, you got that right. I know it sounds like a tough. It sounds like a tough. I mean, yeah. I talked to a lot of guys on here that have been doing it for a living for a long, long time, and it's still an uphill battle for them.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's worth it, but yeah, it's not always. Well, there's no. Yeah, you're not making any money. Put it that way. It's just it can pay for itself, but that's about it. If you can get it to do that, then that's success, I think.
And so, so let me ask you from a music fan standpoint again, because we have seen a lot of bands really getting beat up in the last couple of years for using backing tracks and using these different tricks and smoke and mirrors and like beefing up their sound or whatever. When you go to see a band live in concert, are you okay with that, or would you rather see the band really be authentic, even if it means they sacrifice a little bit of their sound?
Well, I went to see Merciful Fate at Bloodstock a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And that seemed perfect. And someone told me that they now use like there's backing tracks involved in that, but I don't know if I don't know how that would work. But yeah, apparently it's a thing. Like, you know, bands will pipe in like sounds from their record live, but I mean, it didn't sound like that was happening. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I haven't noticed if it is going on. I haven't noticed, but
I would be surprised because King Diamond is a guy with a great voice too.
Yeah, he has, and it wasn't. It was great. It wasn't perfect. Like it wasn't like record perfect, but it was like great.
Well, but I think in this day and age,
you don't want it to. You don't want it to.
Yeah, you make a good point. Like I think in this day and age, man, people have gotten used to like with Pro Tools and all the technology, man. Like people are like they want perfect all the time.
Yeah, I don't.
I know. It sucks. I know. I agree. Yeah. I mean, remember back in the day in the 60s and 70s when bands made like live albums and they fucked up on stage, man, they would leave it in there even,
Yeah, well, listen to like Led Zeppelin albums and they're like, there's all kinds of like mistakes on there.
Yeah. I think it adds character to the, adds character to the performance.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be some sort of like surgical exercise.
Right. Yeah. I think technology has kind of spoiled the music listener a little bit because they think, well, you've got everything at your disposal nowadays. Why does this not sound spot on perfect? But
I think there's a lot of that goes on in the recording process where, bands will replace their the natural sounds with samples.
Right.
Especially for like drum sounds and stuff, and it just means that loads of records just sound the same now, and they're not.
Well, now you mentioned.
Sorry, go
on. Well, now you mentioned that you guys just got a new member in the band, correct?
Yeah.
So how's that adjustment going?
He's slid right in. He's perfect. Been no issues at all. He's from a sort of similar kind of school as as our old drummer, like playing D-beat punk and stuff like that. Which is what Bry's background is or was, and so his feel is like just right for the band because it's just like picking up where we left off, really.
Now, I imagine you've been to plenty of concerts yourself, man. For you as a fan, man, what was your best live experience?
Probably the first gig I went to, which was Pantera.
Ooh, that's a good. Wow, what a great first concert.
Far Beyond Driven. So I was like, my dad took me when I keep mentioning my dad, but he did do a lot of to like shape my taste.
Yeah, your dad is the MVP of this fucking interview, man. He's got some fucking phenomenal fucking moments so far, man. He really has, man. Is your dad still with us?
Yeah.
Okay,
He,
great.
he,
Wow.
he comes to watch us sometimes.
Wow, fucking kudos to dad, man. I mean, he's getting you into fucking Slayer. He's taking you to fucking Pantera. I'm trying to be that kind of parent, and well, I'm a grandparent now too, man. But I mean, I like to get my kids out to live music too. I took my son to, I took my son to his first concerts and stuff when he was young, and yeah, he's been to some good ones, man. I mean, his first concert was fucking Metallica and Lamb of God. So I mean, you're not going to start, you're not going to start out much better than that as your first concert,
What was his reaction to that?
Amazed. Yeah. I mean, blown away, man. Yeah. Absolutely blown away. And I think he was like 15, 14. Yeah.
Right. Because I was just like initially terrified by like the volume of it and like the aggression.
Yeah.
It's in a venue called the Apollo in Manchester. And the whole of like we were sat in the circle, the whole of the circle was just like bouncing with everyone like headbanging.
Yeah.
And like it was so loud. And then like what Vinnie Paul's kick drum is like.
Yeah.
That was just like going through your chest, and like that was just mind blowing. And from then I was just like, yeah.
I'm actually going to see Pantera. I'm actually going to see Pantera at a big stadium tour here next year. They're going out with Metallica and Suicidal Tendencies. So I'm really looking forward to that. A very expensive ticket, but I mean, you go see Metallica nowadays, man, and you're going to pay, So I mean,
yeah.
It just goes without saying, man. But I'm glad. I too got the opportunity to see Pantera with Vinny and Dime. This will be my first chance seeing them fucking post Abbott Brothers. But I think the players that they've replaced them with, man, although they can't really replace them, though, I think they've got really adequate players, though. I mean, and I think more importantly, they're guys that were close to the brothers too.
Yeah, and they've got a man who can do a good pick squeak.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, getting Zach to replicate what Dime did, man. I mean, the two of them were like brothers, and getting Charlie from Anthrax, he was kind of in that Pantera inner circle, man. So they got guys that are doing the music justice.
Yeah, I think so.
And carrying on the tradition.
Yeah, and they've done it as well as they can do.
And I'm happy as hell to see them take out a band like Suicidal Tendencies, man, because I mean, I fucking have loved them for fucking ever, man, and I've never got a chance to see them. And I love that Metallica is bringing a band like that out. I think it has a little something to do with the fact that Metallica's current drummer, Robert, his son is now playing bass in Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh, really?
I'm sure that might have a bit to do with how they landed on the bill. Yeah, he's got a son named Ty Trujillo, who's playing bass right now for Suicidal.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently he's doing a hell of a fucking job, man. Like they say, this is a real banging lineup of Suicidal Tendencies, because I think back to the Suicidal Tendencies of like the late 80s, early 90s, man, and they were a fucking machine. You know what I mean? Like they were like, the ultimate fucking, punk thrash kind of crossover band.
Yeah. Maybe they'll like all their sons will one day replace them.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably where we're headed. Yeah, all their sons will replace, because James Hetfield's son is turning into quite a drummer himself.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I think a lot of their sons are starting to get into I think a lot of the next generation. Like I know Slash has a son that's out there doing music. Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots, he has a son out there doing music. I just went to see Bradley Knoll there, the guy from Sublime. I just went to see his son a couple weeks ago. He's got a band now. He sounds just like his fucking father.
Right.
Amazing. Yeah, it's like if you close your eyes, you feel like you're seeing Sublime again. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably what these kids have grown up around. You know what I mean? It's not surprising that they're going to carry the torch.
That's true. The Meat Puppets have got one of their sons is in the Meat Puppets is in them. I
mean, I imagine when you grow up around music all the time, man, that it's got to kind of be like something's got to fucking rub off. I mean,
yeah, it definitely helps, doesn't it? I mean, I was always around it. My dad's one of these people. He was one of those like parents. I don't know if some people will probably relate to this, where you're trying to like get your dad's attention, and he's just like playing guitar, and he's just like, "Dad, the house is burning down," and he's just like, "Yeah," It's like,
yeah, he's in the zone.
not listening.
Yeah, he's in the zone. And now, what does he listen to now at this stage of his life? Is your dad still somebody who's rocking out the heavy music?
Yeah. Well, I went round the other day and he was listening to Emperor. He likes stuff, mad stuff.
Well, I know sometimes when people get older, you know, maybe like their musical taste, you know, will kind of temper down a little bit, and they might not like it as heavy anymore. You know.
No, I mean he's retired, so he just listens to music all the time. So he's into like jazz fusion and stuff like that, and he'll, you know, he turns me on to like stuff like Chick Corea and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he'll listen to Emperor.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but it's good to have an eclectic taste, because I've told many people on here before, man, that like when I was a kid, like, you know, if you went to school, at least here in my neck of the woods, you know, if you had the jacket with the patch on it and you wore the metal T-shirts or whatever, and you were flying the flag for metal, and somebody found out behind closed doors that you weren't listening to metal, or that you were listening to some other kind of pop music, man, I mean, you would get your metal card pulled. I mean, it would be detrimental to your social status. You know, I mean, like, you would not want to be you would not want to be labeled the dreaded poser. You know what I mean? Like, that was, I mean, it was terrible. You'd feel ostracized, you know, I mean.
Yeah, it's a big stain, isn't it?
I'm glad those walls have come down now. And now it seems like we're in a place in the world right now, like, where you can say that, you know, I like death metal, but sometimes I'll listen to jazz, or sometimes I'll listen to this or that. You know what I mean? It seems like all those walls and barriers have kind of come down now. It's almost looked at as cool to have an eclectic taste. Yeah.
But at the same time, we should put the walls back up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, so listen, man, I know there's a big time difference between us, man. I didn't mean to fuck that up. I had no idea that I thought Jack had told me there was a 5-hour time difference. I didn't know. I didn't know, like, when you guys set your clocks back, man. So, you know, so that was why right out of the gate I sent you the thing and said, hey, if you want to do any earlier. But I wasn't thinking that I was that much earlier, you know.
Yeah, it's just a weird sort of, I don't know, thing. I think we started in like the war or something, and we've just carried it on, like putting our clock back. No one really knows why we do it anymore.
Yeah, but listen, man, I really enjoy what you guys do, man. I'm glad you made the time to do this, man. You know, obviously I have your contact information now. You know, when the new album gets close to coming out or whatever, man, I'd love to have you back on, man. You know, we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. It's been a real pleasure getting the chance to talk to you, man. I really love what you guys fucking do, man. You know, it's a breath of fresh air, man, because, you know, as I said at the top of the interview, man, you know, I love bands that are in that wheelhouse, man. Like, that's my fucking comfort zone right there, where it's heavy enough, but still it's not like death metal heavy. You know what I mean? The lyrics are discernible, but it's right in that wheelhouse that I really like, man, in that Motorhead vein. So I really love what you guys do, man. I'm a big fan, man. Yeah.
Yeah, there's more coming.
Good. I appreciate it, man. And it was great talking to you, Tim. Really, it was, man. I appreciate you making the time. Thanks so much, man. I enjoyed it, man.
Nice one. Cheers, Mark.
Yeah, good talking to you, Tim. Later, man.
See ya. Bye.
There he goes, folks. Tim Horrocks. He is the guitar player for a band that I will encourage you guys to check out called Heavy Sentence. As I said numerous times throughout the interview, if you like well, I'm going to say Motorhead, man, and I'm going to stick with that as my fucking answer, man. It is heavy rock, very much in the vein of Motorhead, man. I would almost fucking dare say that if you closed your eyes and didn't know any better, you might think that you're listening to a Motorhead fucking album, man. I encourage you guys to go out and check out Heavy Sentence from England. Their last full length was 2021's Bang to Rights, which is a fucking amazing fucking album, man. A real fucking face melter. Definitely Rexx Ruger fucking approved. Twice. I'll give it the double fucking okay signs, man. And they just put out this year a little mini, I think, 3-song EP called Warriors of Madness. Definitely check that out, man. And stay tapped into what these guys do, man. I fucking am a huge fan and love what they do, man. Heavy Sentence is the name of the band. Do yourself a favor, go check them out, and then come back and tell your boy Rexx Ruger, Rexx, you've done it again. Hipped me to some fucking great fucking music. Thank you, Rexx. And I will, of course, say gratis. You are welcome. Check out Heavy Sentence, man. Thank you so much to Tim Horrocks for joining me, man. A fucking great fucking chat, man. I really appreciate him coming on here, man. As I said, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on this channel. And of course, make sure to always acknowledge the fact that I am Diamond David Lee Roth Jr. Take a look at the hair, the coif like Roth. Of course, you know how I make that happen. Right there, kids. Get it, use it, love it. And my disclaimer, as always, is you won't be able to look this good. Nobody can, but you can probably get yourself to look pretty damn good. And I, of course, at the end of a long interview, look fucking amazing. But that's because I got the good Roth genes. Sorry, don't hate. Congratulate. I can't help it, man. I'm the offspring of rock royalty. So get over it, man. But again, thanks to Tim, man. And make sure to like and follow us on Facebook for updates on new fucking episodes and whatever I want to post up there. The ramblings of a fucking madman. You never know what you're going to get on there, but stay tapped in, man. Of course, this is where the cool kids come to chop it up with your boy, Rexx Ruger. No place else, man. So with that being said, let me remind all of you to take it easy and keep it sleazy.